Did you know that the National JROTC Instructor of the Year is from our area? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're visiting with Lieutenant Colonel Justin Blum, the Senior Army Instructor of the Junior ROTC at Marlboro County High School and the United States Army Cadet Command's National Junior ROTC Instructor of the Year. Good morning, Colonel Blum.
Morning, Greg.
Thanks so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for inviting me.
How exciting to think about all the activities to be visiting with the National JROTC Instructor of the Year. That's gigantic.
Oh, thank you.
That is I mean, there are junior ROTCs throughout America.
Right. There's 1,550.
Is that right?
And my fellow cadre, there's close to 4,000 officers and NCOs out there.
That is amazing. Well, that is fantastic. Well, thanks for giving us the opportunity to highlight you. And, of course, you're a real jewel for Marlboro County. A true spectacular. I mean, this is I'm sure they love the fact of having. Now, you actually live in Florence County.
That's correct.
And travel to Marlboro County on a regular basis.
This is my 8th year traveling back and forth.
Is that right?
That's right.
Golly.
And the main reason that I didn't move up to Marlboro County, having been on active duty for 21 years, and a good percent of that, with being married to my wife Lee and having 3 children, Juliana, who's now 12, Adam's 16, and Ryan is 18, they moved around. They had, in a short period of time, 6 houses, 6 schools, 6 different sets of friends. And if I said, hey, we're moving again after living in Florence for a few years,
right,
they would be highly upset with their father.
Right.
So
yes.
I'll make the sacrifice, I'll commute, and they can live like regular kids in established roots.
That is fantastic. Colonel Blum, speaking of, let's focus on you a little bit. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
Okay. Do you have family here in the area? Obviously, you mentioned your wife and 3 children, and they're in the PD. Any other family members that have moved down to the area?
Well, my mother-in-law, Marie Allen, lives in Hilton Head.
Okay, great. In the Palmetto State. So
yes.
That's a good time. Do you all ever visit Hilton Head?
Oh, of course, yes. Yes, we do.
That's a very nice area. When did you join the Army, and where did you serve?
Okay, I joined in November 1975 after spending 4 years at Rider College in Trenton, New Jersey, their senior ROTC program. And within a span of 21 years, I've been fortunate to serve from the demilitarized zone in South Korea to Germany and various assignments stateside.
And what was your last post prior to your retirement?
I was stationed at Fort Monroe, Virginia. Its headquarters TRADOC, in which I was the Quality Assurance Director for the Total Army School System. That in itself has given me the insight with instructor management and curriculum, which has helped me do my job today.
And if someone asks you the question, what did you do following retirement? You've only been out of the service just a relatively short time.
I lucked out. Most guys, it takes a number of months to get the job that they want. But I was extremely lucky. My retirement date was July 31st, 1996. My contract at the high school for being the senior Army instructor started 1 August 1996. So my family and I had time to move up from Fort Monroe, go to Florence, close on a house. I didn't have to change uniforms, and I reported for duty, so I didn't have any break. And again, I was extremely fortunate that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What prompted your interest in working with young people in a junior ROTC environment?
Well, it started working with my own children. My wife and I have been always extremely active, involved with our kids, and we firmly believe that if parents let the raising of their children go to just the school system, the church, and the parents are just there watching it happen, it's not effective. And from 1988 to 1992, I served as an assistant professor of military science at South Carolina State University. And there I saw the transition from kids who left high school going through their 4 years of college and then into adulthood. So putting all that together, working with Cub Scouts from Tiger Cubs up to Cub Scouts to Webelos, that gave me the background to know that children, because our children are our leaders for tomorrow. And if we can't mold and motivate and mentor our kids today, then it's going to hurt for what they're going to turn out to be for tomorrow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Had you been in a similar program in high school as a student?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all, no.
Were there programs like that in your high school there in New Jersey?
Well, I graduated high school in 1971, and at that time, there were maybe about 500 Army JROTCs nationwide. And it was through General Powell back in 1989 to 1991 that there was a total expansion. General Powell realized and appreciated what junior ROTC can do for young children. We're not an organization that just sends young adults right to the military. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to motivate students to become better citizens. And if you can learn to be a good citizen while you're going through your formative adolescent teenage years, then you'll be a much more effective adult in our nation.
So it was the late 80s, early 90s that General Powell really pushed the expansion of the program. When did the Army JROTC program originate?
It formally started specifically in November 1916 with the National Defense Act of 1916. Our country was not involved in World War I. President Wilson said, "I will not send your sons, your cousins, your fathers, your uncles to war," knowing in the back of his mind we would get involved with it eventually. So the National Defense Act of 1916 was a way of putting in citizenship training into our high schools to work under the mentorship of retired NCOs and formally with colleges in order to produce second lieutenants. And it was a formal structure of the Army Reserve System in which our country had to entail to become ready to fight eventually in World War I.
Does every high school have the opportunity to have a JROTC program?
Yes and no. The yes part is if they are willing, if they see the benefits of JROTC, then they'll put in for a program. The no portion is budget. Fiscal budget constraints, unfortunately, have let many units, many schools go on a waiting list. And there is another expansion of a number of hundred of schools within the next few years. But every school, unfortunately, the budget isn't there. Not now. In time, hopefully, yes.
Right. How are instructors selected and trained?
Instructors have to be retired, they have to be drawing a pension, and then they have to apply through United States Army Cadet Command. They have to show that they have a strong urge to work with young children. They have to show that they have a good background in methods of instruction, and again, a strong urge to serve their country in this other capacity, working with children. Right now, there's a few thousand instructors on a waiting list, and they're just waiting for openings to occur or new programs to open.
Okay, golly, that many on a waiting list.
Oh, yes. And this is nationwide. Actually, it's really worldwide because Army JROTC has units in South Korea, Japan, Guam, America's Samoa, Virgin Islands, Italy, and Germany.
Okay. Golly, that's fantastic. It's very expansive.
Extremely so, yes.
Very expansive. Who can join the junior ROTC program in high schools?
Any high school student, minimum age of 14. They're in 9th grade. And we welcome all these students with open arms.
How many cadets participate in the program at Marlboro High School?
At Marlboro County High School, we have a record enrollment. Our first semester, we're on block scheduling. And our first semester, which goes from August till December, we have 308 cadets.
Oh, come on.
Second semester, we have another just over 300. Out of the 1,454 students in Marlboro County High School, we're looking at over 600 cadets by the end of the school year, or approximately 40% join, and which is ironic because nationwide, we're looking at about 15,000 high school students are there throughout our nation. And Cadet Command wide, we're looking at approximately between 300 and 350,000 cadets are in the program. So the percent of cadets that are in our high school who can derive all the benefits from JROTC is amazing. Now, last year, we knew that if we had a fourth instructor, we can really expand. Currently, I'm serving with a First Sergeant William H. Swift Jr., who started the program back in school year 1993-1994. The next year, he was joined by Sergeant First Class James Clark, and I came in 1996. We have 60% females in the program,
60
and 40% males. And in order to accommodate our growing number of females, we coordinated with the United States Army Cadet Command. We coordinated with our school board under direction of Mr. Ron Hennigan, and they were extremely supportive. Our superintendent, Mr. Rocky Peterkin, firm support of the program, and Dr. David Sherbine, again, we could not do all the things without their support. They agreed that, yes, another instructor would be the best thing that could happen to the program and the school and the community. So now we have Sergeant First Class Victoria Bennett, and she's doing an outstanding job for us. This way, the females have another female mentor that they can go to in case they have any problems or questions. A lot easier for a female cadet to talk about personal type problems to a female instructor as opposed to a male instructor.
Yes. Golly, how spectacular. You've gotten that kind of support from the county and from folks throughout the Board of Education there. That is wonderful.
We let the school district, the school board, and the community know this is your program. A lot of ROTCs reach out for the community. Community service is a big aspect, but we make sure that we avail ourselves to be available for any activity going on in that entire community, because it's the people's, it's the citizens of Marlborough County, it's their program.
And speaking of their program, the program at Marlborough County High School has won national acclaim, obviously for the JROTC cadets, and for yourself as National Instructor of the Year. Can you share with the viewers a little about some of the awards that have been garnered?
Sure. One of the awards that we received is through the Character Education Partnership. Out of Washington, D.C., the Character Education Partnership has a National Schools of Character Award. Back in 2002, based on character ed programs, community service that we've been involved in, Marlborough County High School, in conjunction with the Junior ROTC and the Key Club that we've combined with our JROTC, we won a Promising Practice Citation, in which we were one out of 13 schools nationwide to win this honor. That was due to mentoring and tutoring program and absence-based education programs. For 2003, we submitted a award nomination for another Promising Practice Citation based on two areas. One is Freedom's Answer. Freedom's Answer is a nonpartisan voter registration, voter turnout program named on behalf of Lieutenant General Maud, who is the highest ranking officer killed at the Pentagon on September 11th. And the purpose of the whole program is to instill a civic education awareness in our young people, to have young people go and promote voter registration, voter turnout to adults. And as a result of that, there were 2,000 high schools participating nationwide last year. Marlborough County High School placed in the top 2% throughout the nation because we were able to obtain more pledges than any other participating high school from Florida all the way up to Delaware. And in recognition, myself and some of our cadets had the opportunity to go to the Mansfield Room in the United States Senate last May to address the senatorial hearing to talk about how we were able to promote Freedom's Answer in South Carolina. Another area in which we were involved and we received state recognition is with the American Red Cross. Now, I'm a veteran of 21 years. I'm classified as 100% permanent total disabled veteran due to a permanent ostomate. I cannot get called back on active duty, but there's other ways in which I know I can still serve. With the support of the high school and the community and our Corps cadets, we've executed 3 very successful blood drives in 2002-2003 school year, in which 210 units of blood were collected for the American Red Cross. Our last blood drive was 7th of October, in which 69 additional units were collected, and we continue to go ahead with that. All the national and state recognition we do achieve, really it's for our cadets, because they feel and they'll see I belong to a winning team. And just for that sense of belonging to any positive organization is great for building self-esteem and motivation for our kids.
There are two other things, of course. I want to talk about that National Instructor of the Year and exactly what was wrapped into that. But, of course, wasn't there an award? Weren't y'all number one out of 1,500 some cadet programs throughout the country?
Yes. Back in March of 2002, Lieutenant Colonel Jones, who came down from Cadet Command to inspect, validate what he saw our public affairs section.
Public affairs.
And in public affairs, he deemed us the number one school at Cadet Command at the time. It's all teamwork. Between myself and our cadets, we write articles. First Sergeant Swift, Sergeant Clark, and Sergeant Bennett, they take pictures, put videotape together, and this way we can promote our program. And it's through promotion of our program that the community and the state knows exactly what we're doing in order to promote and satisfy, achieve our mission of motivating cadets to become better citizens.
How about this National Instructor of the Year, Colonel Blum? What are the qualifications? I mean, that's a heck of a lot of your peers to be recognized as the National Instructor of the Year. How was that gauged, and how did you feel about getting that?
It was an exciting night, I'll tell you. The 22nd of May in San Antonio was the Cadet Command Awards of Excellence. Now, all I was told was I'm in the top 3 for the nation. At the time, there were 3 regions. First region for the East Coast, second region Midwest, and fourth region from the West Coast. And the competition was amongst all the cadre, Cadet Command wide. And some of the things that were needed were to be a gold instructor awardee, which the prerequisites for that were met. They wanted to make sure that you were either a Teacher of the Year or Teacher of the Month, which I was a Teacher of the Month last year, and they want to see a very, very strong collaboration between the high school, the JRTC, and the community on different activities, specifically with service learning, community service, to make a difference. They want to ensure that grants, that you sat down and actually wrote a grant, and I was able to write a $1,000 character ed grant in which we used to fund was going to become a Girl Scout troop, a senior Girl Scout troop at Marlborough County High School. Right. That's one of 2. I wrote another grant which was approved, and we're making and forming another senior Girl Scout troop, because that goes hand in hand with our mission by collaborating with the Girl Scouts of the USA.
So there's quite a bit of collaboration between the high school and the community.
Oh, definitely. The evening of the 22nd of May, when I stood up there and I found out that I won this award, I immediately thanked our Corps cadets, fellow cadre, the faculty, administration of the school, because, as I put it, no man is an island. Right. Nobody by themselves can do it. And if anyone said, I did it all by myself, I'm responsible, and that's it, they're totally wrong. Without the teamwork, which is a learning experience for cadets in itself, none of this would have been a reality. That's why I vowed everywhere that I would go, and I was asked about National Instructor of the Year, I would promote all the character ed community service programs and really thank the ones that are responsible. Myself, fellow cadre, we're essentially mentors, we're facilitators. We help orchestrate, but it's the cadets that do the actual preparation, planning, and after-action review. And it's a learning experience for our cadets. If JRTC cadre nationwide did all the work, the cadets within their own command and staff chain, they wouldn't benefit. And we're extremely lucky. We have a very, very high caliber of cadets at our high school.
Yes. Colonel Blum, am I correct? There was a special guest at the recent, May 2003 high school reunion. Can you share with the viewers real quick about General Richardson's recognition, or Brigadier General Richardson's recognition of the Marlborough High Bulldog Regiment?
Brigadier General Richardson at the time was the highest ranking female officer in active duty. She is an alumnus of the old Bennettsville High School that was before it was integrated. And she came and spoke. You talk about an outstanding role model, outstanding role mentor for young girls everywhere. We brought our cadets as a color guard and some of our other cadets just to meet her.
Oh, yeah.
Because just being in her presence, shaking her hand, knowing of everything that she's been through over the years and achieved the rank of general officer, it was outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And we sent news of this outstanding participation by General Richardson all the way up our command chain to United States Army Cadet Command, so all could be aware of what this outstanding lady has done.
Mm-hmm. If someone, how would you describe your job to someone category or totally unfamiliar with JROTC?
Not 9 to 5. Definitely. Right. You could ask my wife that.
Right.
She's been asking me to slow down, and I've been trying that. Being a junior ROTC instructor, it's not your typical Monday through Friday job. We make our money, for lack of a better term, by after-school activities, evening activities, and weekend activities, because that's where everything gets put together. Because it's through community service that our cadets actually learn. They benefit from what they've learned in the classroom, such as with Freedom's Answer, civic-based education, and then they go out and they execute. American Red Cross blood drives. They learn about the shortage of blood, and they learn how 1 unit of blood can save 3 people's lives. And then they go out and they recruit and they promote the blood drive. We're active with March of Dimes, the American Cancer Relay for Life. There's not an activity that does not go on in Marlborough County that we're not available to help. We offered opportunities for our cadets to travel. In fact, between the start of school on the 7th of August to the week before Christmas, we're involved just about every weekend. And we do it because we give our cadets the opportunity to travel, to see things, to meet people that they never would have had that opportunity. And it's based on this association with outside activities, outside people and organizations that can inspire our cadets in order to determine what they actually want to do. If not for our program, and programs such as athletics and band programs, our cadets would not leave the county that often. And there's so much to see.
Yes, very definitely. How have you changed personally since your retirement from active service and since you began your work with the youth in Marlborough County?
I've become a lot busier. And with that becoming more busier, I've learned, it's taken 8 years, but I've learned how to manage my time more effectively. Any father that's worth his salt, he has to have that clear balance between responsibility at work and responsibility at home. And the one thing that I vowed would not happen was I would let what's going on at home, with my wife and my 3 children, I would not let that hurt because of my involvement. Now, fortunately, there are 4 instructors at our school now, and being as involved as we are, we're able to cover for each other different events. And another area which I realized I've changed was it opened up my eyes. Here, I'm 51 years old. And, growing up in the late 50s, 60s, and 70s, you're influenced by TV. Now, that TV family that you saw growing up in the 60s, that is not typical. There are so many children out there that come from single-parent homes. There's so many children that are just looking for that guidance, that mentorship. And one way that I've changed is when I see that kids are in need, I will go out of my way with our program in order to help them. One example, Hope for the PD. Hope is the HIV/AIDS support agency that is in support of Marion, Dillon, Florence, Chesterfield, Williamsburg, Marlborough County. There are about 350 to 400 children associated with Hope for the PD. And 2 years ago we realized a lot of these kids, their parents, they don't have 2 cents to rub together. A lot of them are dying of AIDS. They've contracted HIV. So for the past year, we've had toy drives in which we were able to collect 350 to 400 toys. So the children associated with the agency, they can have a happy birthday, a Merry Christmas. And because a lot of these kids, once they're parent, if they do unfortunately die, they're not going to have anything. And our kids got so much satisfaction knowing that they're helping some little girl, some little fellow have a Merry Christmas, have a happy birthday by the toys that they no longer play with.
What are some of the things the cadets, you talked about next week being such a crazy week, from Marlborough County High School, the JROTC program, those aspects, what are some of the things that will be happening that would have happened without them?
The cadets are going into just about every school, every business in the county in which to promote the program, sell shoes, accept donations. And all this is being pulled together and then is sending to Joe Fisher. This way the recognition is there.
Right.
We've also incorporated March of Dimes for service learning. Our abstinent-based education program is so strong that we've incorporated that the kids don't drink, don't involve with alcohol, and do not get involved with premarital sex. Because young girls that do get involved in those areas, they've increased their chances of having a child that can suffer from birth defects. We've even gone to the step of writing grants, and one of our Girl Scouts, senior Girl Scout troops, is a focus group on managing pressures before marriage, in which they're going to be going out and promoting that program, which can include even March of Dimes to our middle school students.
I've got to ask you lastly, Colonel Blum, what is the most important thing you wish your cadets will take with them from your program?
Honesty, integrity, learn from mistakes. If they're given an assignment, a job, see it through to completion. Be totally aware that if I have to be somewheres, I'm on time. We're training them skills that they learn today is really skills for life, which is very similar to so many other organizations such as Scouting, because when our cadets, if they don't go to college right away, they enter the workforce or join the military, they're going to know they need to be work on time, they need to put in a full day's work for a full day's pay, and always be honest and integrity, such as our cadet creed emphasizes. Because to be a good citizen, you must be an honest citizen in our country.
Honesty and integrity, amazing words that he hopes to pass on. There's so many aspects of his life, the mentors and facilitators in the program that are encouraging the children throughout the JR2CC program there in Marlborough County High School to get out of the community, the school community, and meet folks and make a difference in the community. Patience is a big word, and that aspect has changed dramatically for Colonel Blum. Leadership excellence. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Greg.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Colonel Justin Blum, the commander for the JROTC program at Marlborough County High School, for making today's Carolina People so special. Happy Halloween.